we are, it's the 7th of January. Got a bit of a mild spell for a day where it's a bit grey and foggy and misty and wet and generally bloody horrible, but actually it's not that bad. The roads seem to be, the salt's been washed away by the rain pretty much, and it's 7 or 8 degrees, so it's not cold. Last few times out I've had a few problems with the microphone on the GoPro, so haven't really bothered editing or anything like that. Turned out to be because the wire sticks out the side of the GoPro, I sort of invested in a replacement one that comes out at 90 degree, and so you don't get that wire stuck out the side that you can see, I'm sure, in the mirror. Not that it matters, it just looks silly being stuck out there. Anyway, the cable wasn't compatible, and so I wasn't getting any sound. I've been playing around with it at home, and hopefully now we've got that sorted. The old Bandit's running, still popping and farting on choke, but once you get the choke in, it runs really sweetly. It's not phased by the cold or the wet or anything like that. It's fitted with heated grips, which I found to be pretty much blooming useless for my needs anyway. I suffer with Raynaud's with the two fingers on my left hand, and the heated grips, although they were pretty warm, weren't doing it for me. So I've invested in a pair of these Gerving electric gloves. I've got no idea what model they are, but they're about 120 quid, and I've got to say they're pretty fantastic. They're on the first setting at the minute, there's no cold in my hands at all, and I haven't had the trouble with white finger or numbness since I've been wearing them now. This is what, the fifth time out with them on. I tend to get out once a week on a Saturday, just on my own. I just go and have a ride round the back roads and whatever when the weather's alright, like today. This isn't somewhere you'd ride if there was a lot of ice about or anything like that. This is the back road from Grantham, cuts across to Corby Glen. It's a favourite road with bikes in the summer because there's some pretty sharp bends and sweeping lanes, no speed cameras, a couple of villages where you just have to watch yourself, but sometimes you get a bit of farm rubbish on the roads, a bit of gravel and what have you, but it's quite a nice ride to ride. And to be honest, especially at this time of year, you don't want to be doing breakneck speeds to enjoy the sweeping bends and the wonderful Lincolnshire countryside. As I say, it's a bit misty today, but oh, there's a pile, but not too cold, so we're all right. I'm all wrapped up in the winter togs. And to be honest, I've worn leather all my life, but especially on the Harley. But with this year, I've decided to ride through the winter, and so I thought we'd better get some of this here kit. This Rika touring kit is pretty good. I've got a couple of long sleeve t-shirts on under here. That's about it. The trousers is just me. I've got one pair of like long johns underneath, just to give us a bit of extra padding. And yeah, so far they've not let the cold or the wet or anything like that. After 120, 130 mile, you do start to feel a little bit on the top of your chest because there's no fairing on the Bandit. You're exposed to all the elements. Although these little hand deflectors I got off eBay for 15 quid seem to be well worth the money. A little bit of mucking about with some brackets off from B&Q, and they're on there. They keep the worst of the wind and rain and stuff off the back of your hands. Well worth the money. Not oh god, look at this. They're not particularly well fitted. Don't look particularly good, but they work. That's at the moment, this time of year, it's all that I can really ask of them. I bought myself a new helmet to go along with the all the gear I've been replacing. I went for an MT thing, and started to get a few problems with wind noise, especially. The helmet is as drafty as you like, and what I hadn't realised, of course, it's got half a dozen blooming vents in it for summer use. But the problem with that is you get so much wind noise that it really wasn't nice to ride with. Also, the more I rode with it, I found that the cheek pieces were actually pushing my cheeks into my teeth. So if I open my mouth, as you do when you're talking or whatever, when you come to close your mouth or close your teeth, you felt like you were biting the inside of your gums all the time. And I started to get one or two little mouth ulcers and that, so I thought, right, I've gone back to the old roof boxer. Now, this helmet's years old, and when I get a bit more money saved up, I'm going to have a new one. I've used this helmet for a few years. It's been all over Europe, over the Rock of Gibraltar twice, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Saint-Tropez 2-3 times, I don't know. Plus all the riding I do in England. I've done certainly in excess of 30,000 miles in it, and it's been great. They are a bit claustrophobic. For people that are used to an open face, they're pretty good, because the whole chin piece swivels to the back of the helmet, so there's no wind drag on it or anything like that. If you're riding as with an open face, you've not got the chin piece stuck on top of the helmet as like an air brake. It goes right to the back, it's out of the way, you don't know it's there. The visor and the cheek piece are like pilot style, so they are very close fitting to the face, and certainly with the microphone on the front, you have to get your microphone tucked right in, otherwise you're going to hit it with the cheek piece when it comes down. But you know, once it's down, it's down. If you're in heavy rain, you can get a bit of it will steam off of it, but certainly no worse than the MT. And at least with this, you can open it a tiny bit, and it seems to get rid of all the any mist that's forming on the inside of the visor is quickly removed. They do tend to be a little bit, they're not the quietest helmet in the world. Certainly if you on the Harley, if we're going any distance, then I would wear earplugs as a matter of course. Well, I don't like the blooming things because they all seem to give me earache, but anyway, better that than deafness, I suppose. But just pootling like this around the back lanes on the Suzuki, which isn't anything like as loud as the Harley, I don't bother too much. Suzuki's got the Delcovic can on it. It's got the decibel killer in. It just seemed to run a bit better with it in than it did out, and the noise difference was so small that it really wasn't worth the effort. Just gives the bike that little bit of a brap sound to it. As I say, the bike's capable of far more performance than I am. That's not why I bought it. You just poodle along on it. Used to ride these roads a lot years ago on an old SP370 Suzuki dirt bike thing. I used to love riding around these old lanes on them. There's 2 or 3 of us, we all worked continental shifts, and we used to come riding around all these lanes and all the little lanes that connect all these small roads. We used to ride around them just for the hell of it, looking for bits of off-roading that we could have a play with. turn left here and head into Corby Glen. A few years ago, Performance Bikes used this corner for their 600 shootout video they did. Still got it tucked away somewhere. It's 20 or 30 year old now. It was the GSF 600, the ZZR 600, the Yamaha 600. On the it might have been a CB, I'm not sure if that was there or not. It was either 3 or 4 bikes, and they spent ages coming up and down this road and getting the knee down around that bend. You might get your knee down. This next bend you can get a bit more than your knee down. Come around here a couple of times and it nearly caught me out, because you've got a bit of a flowing bend there and then it drops away, and then literally either you've got a dead 90 degree at the bottom here that I'm surprised more people don't go through the there's the castle. Drop down into Bourne now.